Are you a projector who's confused as to how to attract aligned invitations? If that's the case, this video is for you. Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Veronica. I'm a coach and human design guide, and on this channel, I share human design with you in a practical and simple way so that you can find alignment in who you are, what you do, and how you do it. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to learn more about your design, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you do enjoy this video, then please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at how do we attract aligned invitations. Specifically, as we are nearing the end of the year, we're going to look at how can we do that in 2025 to get into alignment and to allow the right opportunities and invitations to come to us. Together, we're going to look at number one, why is it important for a projector to follow their strategy of waiting for the invitation? Two, what waiting for the invitation actually means. There is so much confusion around this and I cannot wait to clear it up for you. And three, I'm going to share with you a framework that I use with my clients to simplify this process and break it down into easy, actionable steps. My goal is to help you feel confident in how to use your strategy as a projector so that you can attract more abundance and more aligned opportunities, especially as we move into a brand new year. So let's dive in. I just want to mention that a lot of projectors struggle with their strategy, with understanding what waiting for the invitation actually means. It can feel very disempowering, and I certainly felt like that the first time I discovered that I was a projector and that the strategy for projectors was to wait for the invitation. The word waiting feels very passive and it can feel unattainable, especially when you apply it to things like business, making money, paying your bills, your work, and so on and so forth. So I just want to reassure you that if right now you are feeling a little bit stuck when it comes to your strategy, you're not really sure how to use it, or maybe you get it, but it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel sustainable for you to actually allow the invitations to come to you, then hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to feel a lot better now that I understand what waiting for the invitation actually means, and having put it into practice in my own life and business, and having witnessed what actually happens when you get out of your own way and start to do things in alignment to you. I love this strategy. I love being a projector. It doesn't feel limiting at all. So I hope that if you are feeling stuck, I can infuse some excitement and some joy into you being a projector, because I'm a very proud projector. So why is this so important for a projector to follow their strategy of waiting for the invitation? As projectors, our aura is focused and absorbing, and this quality allows us to see really deeply into other people, sometimes even more deeply than they see themselves. And whilst this is an incredible gift and a brilliant way that we can serve and support and guide others, it can come across as quite intense. And what that means is that even when we have the best intentions, our advice, our wisdom, our solutions can feel overwhelming to others if they're not ready to receive them. They might actually feel confronted or even judged by you when you share your wisdom. And this creates resistance. When I say resistance, this can mean a variety of things. So people might ignore what you're saying, not acknowledge or recognize the value in what it is that you're sharing. They might say thank you, but no thank you. So you might actually experience pushback. You might actually be met with someone who's quite confrontational because they feel threatened and now their back is up and they're pushing back against you, leading to miscommunication and even conflict. And I actually invite you to think back at a time in your life where you maybe gave someone advice and you knew it was sound advice, and yet the response that you got was not a positive one. I'm sure that it wasn't a pleasant experience and that it left you feeling unappreciated, unrecognized, drained, unmotivated to do that again. If you've experienced this yourself, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. So overlapping my experience in psychology and as a coach to my human design knowledge, there are three main reasons that I've personally identified as to why you're met with resistance when you don't wait for the invitation. Number one, the resistance might come from the fact that the person that you're trying to give advice to doesn't recognize that they have a problem. Number two, the person might recognize that they have a problem, but they're not yet ready to deal with that problem. Or number three, they might know that they have a problem, they might be ready to deal with it, but they just don't feel that you're the right person to help them. This is why it's so important for us as projectors to wait for the invitation. Because when we don't, we're essentially bypassing these three key stages that someone needs to go through in order to be ready and willing and excited to receive guidance. When that doesn't happen, not only you're met with a resistance, but you're also draining your energy for no good reason. Our energy as projectors is precious, it's finite, and so we need to be really mindful and intentional as to what we give our energy to. There's a much better way for you as a projector to share your powerful wisdom. So let's break down the process, and this is a framework that I've created myself and I'm very proud of it. So let's break down how to actually attract aligned invitations. First and foremost, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, I love to reframe the word waiting for the invitation to preparing for the invitation. One of the challenges I face myself and I see a lot of projectors facing is the idea that waiting feels very passive, and they mistake waiting with quite literally sitting on the sofa doing nothing. And that is not what we mean. Preparing for the invitation feels a lot more empowering because there is actually a lot you can be doing to make sure that you yourself are in alignment, are grounded in who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it, so that by the time an invitation comes to you, you are ready and able and willing to accept it. And now let's dive into my deconstructed process of attracting aligned invitations. Attract invitations that actually resonate with your essence, that feel aligned, that feel exciting, that feel expansive. Starts with one key thing: recognition. So here's a deconstructed process. Number one, in order to be invited, you need to be recognized. People need to recognize you as the right person to support them, to guide them. They need to understand and appreciate your unique gifts, your knowledge, your expertise. In order for them to be able to recognize you, they first need to know you exist. You need to be visible. In order for you to be visible, you first need to do what you love and you need to master it. When you give yourself permission to engage in the things that truly light you up and you practice and you improve over time, your knowledge, your expertise, your natural talents will become magnetic. Think about it. We love to watch people that are good at and love what they're doing. It's their demeanor, it's their joy, it's the mastery that they have acquired that is so attractive. So in order for you to become visible to the right people that you want to be guiding, you need to be visible doing something you actually want to share guidance on. And in order to allow yourself to focus your efforts, your time, your energy into mastering the things that you love, you first need to recognize what they are. You need to connect to yourself. You need to recognize and see yourself. See what it is that you enjoy. See your interests, your passions, your desires, your needs, so that you can then honor them. Before anyone else can recognize you, you need to recognize yourself and the value that you bring. So now that we've deconstructed the process, let me give you a recap in the chronological order. Number one, in order to attract aligned invitations, in order to prepare yourself for aligned invitations, when you are waiting for aligned invitations, you need to focus on recognizing yourself. And if you struggle to see yourself, and often projectors do, we're so good at seeing everyone else and then we really struggle to see ourselves. One of the tools that is available to you is something like the Human Design Codex, which I created, and this is an absolutely shameless plugin because I created it for a reason. The Human Design Codex is a completely personalized guidebook that is based on your human design chart, and it basically breaks down the aspects of your design, what they mean, and what you can do with that knowledge. Often we struggle to know what our gifts are, we struggle to know what our superpowers are, we struggle to understand the different facets of our personality. So what the Human Design Codex does is that it spells it out for you in black and white on the page. This has been so helpful for me to have. I printed mine out and I use it as a resource to help me recognize myself. So I'll leave that linked below if you think you'd find it helpful. But in any case, it's so important that whatever method or tool you decide to use, you get intentional about starting to recognize and seeing yourself. Once you do that, number two, you want to focus your energy. Our energy as projectors is very potent, and when we focus it on the things that matter, we are so efficient and we can achieve so much. We don't necessarily need all the life force that we often crave that generators and manifesting generators have, because we are able to do much more with less. So make it a conscious decision to identify the things that you're good at, the things that you enjoy, and start to master those things. Start to enjoy engaging with those things. Once you do that, you will want to naturally share your passion. When people are passionate about something, they love to share that joy with others. It's such a natural thing to want to do. So then it will be much easier for you to want to be visible doing what it is that you enjoy. And this is not the energy of chasing, getting visible so that you can go find people to give guidance to. This is the energy of receiving, of you enjoying doing the thing so much and getting so good at it. Just allowing people to see you do that is what is going to attract those people to you. That then encourages that piece of the strategy, which is to be recognized by others for your wisdom and your gift, which in turn, you guessed it, is going to attract those aligned invitations. You're going to be invited to share your guidance and wisdom and opinions on things that actually feel aligned. There's no point you getting invitations to do something that doesn't bring you happiness or joy in the first place. You might as well be setting yourself up for the right kinds of invitations, not just invitations for the sake of being invited to feed the ego. So that's it, projectors. This is the framework that I use with clients one-to-one, that I often share in my human design readings when I'm talking to projectors, and that I myself had to create in order to make human design that can sometimes be a little bit elusive into a more practical framework that I can actually use day to day and that is simple to understand and easy to implement. So I hope you found it helpful, and I hope that having this kind of framework is also going to help you get into alignment and so that you can attract all of those amazing invitations. As always, let me know if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does make a huge difference to my small channel. And if you enjoy this kind of content and you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. I hope to see you here in the next video. Bye guys.